Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video, we're going to be going through the overall top team for the Immortal squad, Thalassa, Ravaged Realm, and also a great option if you don't have Talene on your account. Because I'm sure there are plenty of people out there who don't have her, and there are some good options that have been tested on the Pioneer server. Okay, the overall top team formation is going to be this one. After a lot of testing done on the Pioneer server, I'm going to show you the charms, but first let's talk through it. Verdant Spell with Talene on the Prime Carrier buff tile. Viperon is going to be soul pacted by the Thorn so that Viperon is able to survive as long as possible. Nero, even though he has an attack buff from his charms, the top performing teams are actually using Nero, just not buffing up anyone, but having him in the team because he can resurrect an ally if needed. And for team number 2, it is Hodgkin, Cecia, Carolina. However, if you don't have Hodgkin, you can run Salazar in place of Hodgkin and only do around 1 billion lower damage. And I will show you an option for that team formation as well. And Talene deals the most damage, so most importantly, you will want to have Blast Charms for Talene. Ludwig does decent amount of damage. Insight Charms you probably already have if you've been using him in Dream Realm. Viperon is on the Insight Charms here for his own tankiness and for his skill power. Nero and Thorin honestly don't really matter. You can just give them any old mythic charms. They don't have to complete a set effect. Looking at the team number 2, the key damage dealers are Cecia on the Gale charms, those are the optimal, and Carolina on the arcane charms. Hodgkin usually, okay, he's actually on the blast charms here, but again, it won't matter as much. Any offensive charm option you can give to him, even if, for example, you have the arcane charms, they would be fine onto Hodgkin. Resonating spell on the Cecia in the back. Okay, and that is the overall top team, getting rank 2 for today, but really anything over 98 billion damage is crazy, and it just comes down to RNG about who is going to get the top score. Now, if we take a look down here we have a team from Techies actually, not even running Salazar on team number 2, instead running Igor. I'm going to show you this team. In case you have Igor built, then this can be a good option for you. Again, team number 1 is exactly the same. Everyone is running this as the optimal team number 1, and I'm sure the charms are going to be pretty much, pretty similar. Sorcery charms instead of the insight onto Viperon. Both can work. Basically, it doesn't really matter too much about Viperon charms. Here you have Igor rather than the Hodgkin in the same position, and it is doing obviously not as well as Hodgkin because Igor's damage is lower, but it's a fine option that you can try. He has the Reaper charms, which again, it won't really matter what you have on Igor, but that does give him attack percent, one good offensive stat. Gale and Arcane charms again onto Cecia and Carolina respectively. Okay, taking a look at the Salazar team. This is the team which we have shown before in a video, but again, team number 1 is exactly the same. Basically, this is the optimized team number 1 Verdant Spell with Talene, and team number 2 is going to be Salazar in the same place as Hodgkin or Igor. It's always over here. In here, he has the Titanic charms, but any offensive charm option would be fine. But it does look, oh wait, was this? No, it does look like the Igor is doing a little bit better in the team compared to Salazar, but it could just be RNG as well. So all of these are good team options, depending on which heroes you have, if you have Talene. Now, if you don't have Talene, there are 2 people who have tested teams, and both gotten around 79 billion damage, so both of them are good team options. Both are using Hodgkin in team number 2, but don't worry. Again, if you don't have Hodgkin, you can replace him for a hero like Igor, like we've seen, or Salazar, although both of these teams are already running Salazar, Sylvina, basically any other hero that you have available. But the important thing to look at is how is the team number 1 structure. So you have Nero in front of Carolina to buffer up with the attack, and you have Thorin Soul Pacting Viperon again with the Arcane Spell because this is a magic damage oriented team. Viperon and Carolina end up dealing the most damage, and so Arcane Spell is the best for them. And as for the charms, Nero has the energy on hit, but again, I don't think there really is a huge priority. Just get him any mythic set so that he can get the quality bonus applied to the ally behind him, which is Carolina here. Viperon, again, with the insight charms, and Carolina here, she's actually using the mystic charms for haste and skill power, but you could also go for the arcane charms. I think both would be fine. Team number 2, it is a physical team now with the Hodgkin. If you run something like Sylvina, it will also be physical. Even Igor, I believe, is physical. So Greatsword Spell is what you're going to want to run here because, or I guess you could go for Resonating. You could, again, go for Cisia on the back tile with Resonating Spell. You can try it and see if it does better for you. Or you can just go for Greatsword Spell. But I guess because Salazar is your secondary damage dealer, it ends up doing better with the Greatsword Spell because you have all 3 physical damage dealers as compared to Carolina in the old team number 2. Like when Talene is in team number 1, and then you have like a mix of magical and physical. And then for that, I guess Resonating does better. But this is a great team that you can try for team number 2 using Hodgkin. And looking at the other team here, which got around about the same score, it is running the Sylvina. And when we take a look at the formation, Sylvina, now interestingly, I would think Ludovic in front of Carolina should be better because he would provide the attack charms onto Carolina. Sylvina doesn't provide any charm bonus to the Carolina, but for Sylvina, Gale charms are what were used here. But any offensive charm option could be fine. And Ludovic is actually with the healing. That is actually the healing charms, and then Viperon is with the insight charms, Carolina with arcane charms. This also lowers, it increases the effectiveness, I guess, of the healing, but it lowers Ludovic's damage a little bit, because you would have noticed with the insight charms on other runs, Ludovic has gotten up to 5 billion damage. Here, he only got 3.9 billion damage, but still, arcane spell on team number 1 and team number 2 is exactly identical. So hopefully this gives you a lot of different team options that you can try just to put things together, kind of. Here we have the Talene team, but you want to have Thorin Soul Pacting the Viperon. This is actually what is being used by people with the Verdant spell. This is the overall top team. Now, if, for example, you don't have Talene, then you're going to have to replace Talene for Carolina and have Carolina Viperon on the buff tiles with the arcane spell. Still have Ludovic, and you can still have Nero and Thorin. Like, you can still have the same heroes in this team number 1, but basically replace Talene for another AoE magical damage dealer who will be Carolina, but go for arcane spell. And for team number 2, this is, well, it's actually with the resonating spell. This one is considered the best team for right now, but if you don't have Hodgkin, you can swap him out for Salazar. You can move Salazar in here. And if you don't have Salazar built, you can swap him out for Igor. And you can, yeah, I mean, if you're running Carolina, probably is better to run the resonating spell with this team. But if you're running Carolina on team number 1, then like we saw, you can run Salazar here, and you can run the Greatsword spell with Hodgkin. Like if you have Hodgkin, you can try this team. If you have Sylvina, you can try Sylvina. And if you have Igor, you can try Igor as well. But anyway, guys, that is going to be it for like the top teams for the Immortal squad as of right now. Both the best Talene team and the best non-Talene team, so you have an idea of what to expect when it comes out. Unfortunately, I thought we were going to get Ravaged Realm to global server today, but it seems like we're going to get it starting from tomorrow, which is the Dauntless squad. So we're going to go right into the Dauntless squad team, but this is the Greyborn team if you want to look at it when it comes around in 3 or 4 days from now. But thanks for watching, guys. That is going to be it for this video. I'll hopefully see you guys in the next video. And until then, everyone, peace out for now, and thank you for watching.